The game the World Cup was asking for and the game that Sri Lanka have delivered. They have caused perhaps the biggest upset of the tournament so far. They have beaten the might of England at Headingley by no more than 20 runs to inflict upon England a fourth consecutive defeat in World Cup cricket. They are clearly the bogey team for Sri Lanka. They had the odds stacked against them. They ended up winning a toss, and what we thought was well below par at halftime was proven to be oh so wrong. England at one stage at 127 for 3, looking good with Joe Root and Ben Stokes, have then seen the very best of LASITH Malinga. Even at 35 years and 297 days young, he's managed to inflict upon England another World Cup defeat. That's the final scoreline then, 232 for 9. Angelo Matthews fought hard for his 85, which turned out to be a vital innings in the context of this game. So too Avishka Fernando with a breezy 49 on his World Cup debut. After Ben Stokes' unbeaten and valiant 82 and Joe Root's 57 in support, there isn't much that the rest of the England lineup can boast of. Well done to LASITH Malinga. Key wickets by DHANANJAYA, Silva, and support by ISURU, UDANA means all 10 wickets were taken by Sri Lanka because that was the only way they were going to beat England. They've bowled them out. They've thrown the World Cup wide open, or at least they've kept the interest in the World Cup wide open. To look back at that game on ESPN Cricket for Matchday UK 2019, Michael Hussey, who's got just a quiet little smile on his face. Murli Karthik to his left. Tilak Ratne Dilshan, I'm delighted we'll have a few things to say about this Sri Lankan performance, even though it's way past 3 a.m. in Melbourne where he joins us from. And while Alexis Nunes consoles Graham Swan, we'll give them a few minutes before we go to Headingley. Right, Mike Hussey, explain that game, 232, which you said at halftime was 100 below par. Well done on that, by the way.
I'm giving up predictions from now on. You know, I honestly thought England would do that easily. All I can say all I can say is wow. You know, that was an incredible performance. LASITH Malinga is a legend, and he will go down as a legend for that great performance. And I think it just showed that England are human and they feel the pressure just like anyone else. And if a team bowls very well, they have a bit of luck and they get some wickets, early wickets, put some pressure on, then they can succumb to that pressure just like anyone else can. So we all look at it from the sidelines and think, oh, they're superhuman, they'll just come out and smash it away and cruise to that total. But pressure does strange things to everyone. So congratulations to Sri Lanka. And I think you're right, it's really sparked some life, I guess, into this whole tournament.
Yes. Murli Karthik, can you sum that up in terms of...
I was thinking about a few teams. We have the West Indies team, the great team of the past, when they played in a very similar fashion that everybody could come and go, start hitting from the word go. The great Australian team which we faced was very similar. Everybody was good enough to come and have a tee off. I think when it comes off brilliantly. On certain days, such days, you want somebody to buckle up, knuckle down and play that anchor innings. I think a few of them went for some glory shots. Yes, LASITH Malinga bowled brilliantly for those. But given the situation right now, the fact that Ben Stokes was there till the end, he just needed some company. So could Moeen Ali have tempered it down? Could someone else have played a different kind of a role? Because it was not as if they were asking for 160 runs or 170 runs. It was just a simple enough target. Yes, pressure does do quite a few things, but the fashion in which England have decided to play, I think on certain occasions or such occasions, you can always have to have a relook at the way they go about it. But credit can't be taken away from what Sri Lanka have done. I think it's just after Pakistan beating England in this tournament, which was again a big upset because they were breaking a streak of 11 losses. I think Sri Lanka have done a great service to this World Cup and just the fact that they're a proud nation, a proud cricketing nation, and they've beaten England today.
I'll be interested to know what Swanee's thoughts were being at the ground. But I just wonder if psychologically England did change the way they slightly play. Not talking about, say, Moeen Ali and the lower sort of batsmen, but more the guys at the top. Because they were chasing a lower total, they thought, OK, we can just take our time and we'll just work our way there. And I felt as though perhaps they were just a little bit less aggressive than they normally are. And I just wonder if that played into Sri Lanka's hands and whether if they had their time again, the guys at the top would say, just come out and say, right, let's play our normal game and let's just go for it and put the pressure. This is the way we've played successful one-day cricket over the last 2-3 years. Let's not change the way we play. I felt as though they just thought, well, if we just bat the time, we'll get there. And it sort of maybe backfired. But I'd be interested to know if that's what it looked like at the game, because we're obviously a long way away.
Let's go straight there then. Let's go to Alexis Nunes and Graham Swan. And we're all waiting with bated breath to hear what Swanee made of that. Alexis, please take it away.
Thanks so much, Ranak. Now, people are still singing about Swanee, and that's probably the only thing that's going in his favour today. The sun is still out, and what a game that was, at least for the neutral. But I'll tell you about Swanee. Remember him singing, dancing earlier on today, calm, cool, collected? Well, he's definitely not that man there. Swanee, let's start off with that point that Hus just made. Do you think England just weren't aggressive enough in going after this? Were they just a little bit too laid back? And that's the point that you've been saying, that you wanted to see England go after these low totals aggressively.
Mike Hussey, I've said this before, that you're a legend. You are now even more of a legend in my eyes, because that is exactly what we did wrong. I hear people will have a go at Moeen Ali for the aggressive shot he played. What absolute nonsense. If England had been aggressive from the outset, it would never have been in a situation where you're even thinking about one of the lower orders, basically middle and lower orders, playing an aggressive shot. England had a small total to chase and went about it in an entirely inappropriate manner. If they'd have been aggressive, gone at the Sri Lankan bowlers, not allowed the Sri Lankan bowlers to bowl, there is no way in the world they wouldn't have chased that down. So I question their tactics in the entirety. Losing those 2 early wickets, I mean, they plodded along, but they even got themselves to a very decent situation where they should win the game. But because the mindset was there, it wasn't an aggressive, proactive mindset, they turned themselves into an equal footing team rather than the best team on the park. So Mike Hussey, absolutely spot on. As I've always said, you're the best thing that's ever happened to cricket.
I'm not sure he's always said that, Huss. I can tell you that much here. We're just going to keep it real on this side. Well, something else that Huss brought up as well was the psychological factor of how the batting order went about things today. And we have a phrase in the West Indies, or at least in Jamaica, that says pressure bust pipe. And do you think the pressure of this tournament is catching up to England now, especially when it's getting to the quote-unquote business end of the tournament right before a match against Australia? Is there any benefit of losing a match like this before that?
No, there's no benefit whatsoever. You can make whatever excuse you want. The pressure undoubtedly has got to the England team today because they've gone against playing their natural game. I think it'd been better if they'd bowled Sri Lanka out for 300. I think they'd have won this game because they'd have been aggressive in their approach. They've forgotten how to chase a small total. And I will not have people have a go at Moeen Ali. I know I'm his biggest fan. I think Moeen was the only one who showed proper old school intent that has got England to #1 in the world. If all 11 had done that, the Sri Lanka bowlers, trust me as a bowler, if you've got a guy trying to hit you for 4 or 6 rather than trying to survive, then it is a horrific way to be. If you've got a guy who's waiting for a bad ball, oh my God, bring me that one-day batsman every time if I'm bowling. That is perfect. And then if you do that, the guys who have experience, Angelo Matthews, LASITH, Malinga, these are the guys who will do well because they can thrive in that. They think, great, this England team has now destroyed everyone for 2 years and playing like the old England team that we used to destroy. So we're happy now, we're relaxed, we can perform. Got it all wrong today, England, with the bat. All wrong, apart from you, Moeen Ali, who remains my hero.
Well, speaking of something that England possibly could be getting wrong, you can let me know how you think about this, because I remember when Jos Buttler was walking out to the crease and I said to the person next to me, I said, all right, this is it. He's in for a big innings. He's going to go for it. But unfortunately for England, he didn't. Is there a case for him to come up a little earlier, say before Ben Stokes, to probably take a little more time to build his innings?
None whatsoever, if I'm honest. Just got out. He's got a couple of low scores in this tournament. He's not in great form. He needs to go back and get some form from somewhere because England rely on him quite heavily. You can't question Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes is the only one I'm going to excuse from the manner of only a runner-ball innings catching up at the end, because he had to by that stage. He batted with the tail. He collapsed at the other end to him. Jos Buttler, sorry, he's just not in great nick. I don't think you can put him up ahead of Stokes.
All right. Well,
I don't think there's any need to.
I'm not sure that's exactly what you want before facing Australia, because I'm sure Huss is just licking his lips over there thinking of this matchup now. So what do England do now? Back to the drawing board?
No, absolutely not. England go back in the change room and they should go around each and every person. So why did we lose that game? And if one of them spouts a cliche, we didn't run hard enough, we didn't do this, do that, get out. You're never playing for us again. If they're honest with themselves and say, look, we bottled that. We felt the pressure because we didn't turn to the game that has got us into this position. This aggressive, proactive game we talk about that has teams, has bowling attacks around the world absolutely quaking in their boots. If you're going to bowl against a team who are that intent on hitting you around the park, there's one reason Australia, well, there's more than one reason. The reason they dominated world cricket for so long is that from numbers 1 to 9, with the bat, I can't include Damien Fleming and Glenn McGrath in this, I'm afraid, sorry. They went out thinking, I will win this game with the bat. I will be the one who win this game with that. I will take on these bowlers. I remember Andy Bickle did it to us in Port Elizabeth years ago as England team, thinking we've won this game, now we've got this many down. Andy Bickle went and won it because they just believed from 1 to 11 they'd win it, from 1 to 9 they'd win it with the bat. This England team should be doing the same, and rather than being self-belief, they let a tiny bit of doubt creep in. And so against Australia, you say, right, what did we do against this team 2 years ago? We destroyed them. What are we going to do tomorrow? Destroy them, and then destroy them.
All right, well,
it's not lost yet.
It's not lost yet. Finally, before we go back to studio so that Swanee can probably cry some silent tears in peace.
I've got my corner to cry in already.
Ronak spoke about Matthews and his innings, but talk to me about Lasith Malinga and his 4 wickets. How good it is to see an experienced player like Lasith Malinga. I know it's salt in your wounds, but as a bowler, you definitely love seeing them go out there and do that in a match like this.
I love seeing experienced players outperforming the youngsters. And let's face it, Angelo Matthews, Lasith Malinga are probably too old to be playing in this World Cup. They shouldn't be there, and yet they've won the day for their country. So well done. I mean, Lasith Malinga, those who know him will adore him. He's a lovely man, and he played in the IPL this year. He's like Lasith Malinga ×2 because he's double the size he used to be, and yet you still love him. He's still got that same action, the action that was impossible to play and that people worked out a way, and he's changed and he's matured. And yeah, well done. Hats off to you. A very lucky dismissal of Joe Root, obviously, that won you the game. But apart from that, brilliant Malinga and brilliant Matthews.
All right.
Delighted for you, Sri Lanka.
Graceful and professional, even in defeat. Graham Swan, ladies and gentlemen. So now it's over to you guys. I can't wait to hear what Huss has to say after this.
Oh, my word. Well, I'll come to Mike Hussey, but thank you so much. That was as exhaustive as it can get from Graham Swan with Alexis Nunes outside Headingley. But before I get back to Mike Hussey and Murali Karthik, Tilakratne Dilshan at nearly 3:30 in the morning in Melbourne has been sitting and waiting and listening patiently. Dilshan, odds heavily stacked against them, weather frustrating them, complaints about so many things off the field. What does this win mean against England for Sri Lanka?
First, I'm breathing now. I think it's a great win. All credit go to the bowling unit. I think they will start, especially Lasith Malinga, show his experience, his class, way they set the field. All the bowlers done really good job. I think all credit go to the bowling unit and the captain. We discussed in the break, they should attack. They have to all out the England side to win this match. I think exactly same thing happened. I think full credit to bowling unit, and myself and Murali tried to bring a spinner to side. I think again part-time DHANANJAYA done the job for the Sri Lankan team. We know how important the spinners in the especially middle overs. I think another part England take very easy this match. I feel they are a little bit slow down. They take some time, and after Morgan and the Roots wicket, they feel pressure. They from there they are not in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point you make. Almost the same criticism we had of Sri Lanka, who allowed the England spinners bowling to them. It seems like the same happened in the second innings. But I'd like to talk to you a little bit more in detail about just Lasith Malinga, not just how he's bowled, but the use of Malinga. He delivered with the new ball. Karunaratne brought him back in the 31st over when he got Joe Root. Just the perfect sort of impactful use of Malinga that we've been crediting Aaron Finch with Mitchell Starc or Mohammad Amir with Pakistan when it's gone right for them. The use of your strike bowler was almost perfect today.
I think definitely that's why I mentioned earlier the full credit go to the captain. Dimuth is very young, not that much experience, but he used very well Lasith Malinga, and Lasith Malinga also he know what's his field. He set up the field, he bowled for that field. I think that's the experience. Lasith so many years we done for Sri Lanka. Any captain want to play him inside. His experience, he know he's a wicket taking bowler, he's match winning bowler. He done in the new ball against he want to captain want to wicket, he throw the ball, he took important wicket in the middle. I think he's today definitely Dimuth Karunaratne way he used today's ball over every bowler, not in Lasith Malinga, everyone really good. I think all credit go to the Lasith. He again he done for job for Sri Lankan team.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit more about Lasith Malinga as we look at the areas, Mike Hussey, that he got his wickets in. And what I liked was we've been talking a lot through the IPL of Malinga who's had to find new ways of being effective, given he's not the same bowler that he was. Today was a little bit of vintage Malinga, not in terms of pace, but he's getting guys trapped in front, LBW, he's bowling full. There's one nick of the leg side, but let's take nothing away from him. Malinga showed shades of why he's been so successful in white ball cricket.
Yeah, I think he actually got a little bit of swing early as well, and the ball that got Vince definitely swung away to catch the edge there. Even the first one to get Bairstow, I think just swung a little bit, so we haven't seen a lot of swing. He's obviously got that different action, and if you haven't faced a lot of him in the past, then it is unusual. You're looking in a different area. Most guys as batsmen, you're looking at an area somewhere up here, just above the bowler's head. With Malinga, you've almost got to look in the middle of the umpire's chest. So it's different in itself. He's got so much experience. He's such a proven performer in pressure situations. Look, we saw him bowl the last over of the IPL final, and what a job he did there as well. So it's almost like he thrives. The bigger the pressure, the bigger the game. The best comes out of Lasith Malinga, and if Sri Lanka were going to have any chance in this match today, they needed him to perform, and what a performance it was. Yes, there was a little bit of luck along the way. Even Bairstow's LBW, it could have gone either way. It was just brushing leg stump. The caught down the leg side, but you need a bit of luck to go your way in this game. It's the same if you're batting and scoring runs. You need to get some luck. So I'm really happy for him, and it just keeps enhancing what is a wonderful reputation that he's got.
And it certainly seems like, Murli Karthik, it was a collective bowling performance. What we needed of their batsmen, their bowlers have sort of done together, because no one really gave away much, other than ISURU UDANA, who only because of Ben Stokes' late surge has gone over 5 and over, and I'm leaving Jeevan Mendes' part-time spin outside the equation.
He was picked as a frontline spinner.
Yeah, and I think that we'll come back to that maybe with Dilshan later. We know where both you and him stand. Yeah. But it looked, everyone had to sort of do a job if you're going to defend 230 against England.
Yeah, exactly.
And they did it.
Exactly. And it's not as if you take up roles that I'm going to be the wicket taker and I'm going to be the stock bowler, but it is something which you are capable of. I think the way ISURU UDANA bowled in the middle was brilliant. Malinga obviously was brilliant, and I'm forgetting the third seamer. What's
NUWAN
Pradeep. NUWAN Pradeep. Till the last over, I think it had gone for 24 or 25 runs. So if you have a bowling unit like that, and the way Dimuth used them as well, you have to give him credit, the way Dimuth used. There was a time when Malinga had only, 3 overs left, and he brought him at the right time because he knew that if he got 2 wickets here or could strangle the English team, it was curtains for them. So the way they were used also was brilliant. And I think at the end of the day, to win games like this, you need to have collective belief in the squad, not just in the playing 11, that it's a low score, it's a very good side, and we are going to pull it off. And hats off to Malinga. He could have got 5 if he had not taken, I think it was DHANANJAYA de Silva who tried that catch.
Kusal Mendes in the deep.
Kusal Mendes in the deep who tried that catch, which was not an easy one coming into the sun.
Could have been a 5-wicket
haul.
But
he would have got a 5-wicket haul and the match would have been over there. So, you have to have that kind of belief. Everybody does a job, not exactly designated, but you take it upon yourself to do what you think is best for that situation.
Yeah, oh boy, they've put in a real collective bowling effort, have the Sri Lankans. They've breathed new life into this World Cup. This is where we leave viewers on ESPNcricinfo.com. We'll see you tomorrow. For viewers in the Caribbean, stay with us. It's now time for the presentation. Both captains at Headingley with Alison Mitchell.